One of these days we'll be live. Ah, look, the ever never-ending cup of coffee.
Delicious.
Always,
Delicious.
always, always. Too bad you don't drink coffee.
If it's available, yeah, I'll drink it. But
There's our
most
official
of the time,
notification. We are officially live. We're here, everybody. Come on in. There's four people already in the room, but they're not taking up the entire front row. There are
most
refreshments in the back.
yeah, most of the time, the coffee, in my house, the coffee isn't like readily available. Plus, I like a lot of sugar in my coffee.
Well, that's not good then.
Trackle says he's working on an "I Survive Movie Night with Varian" T-shirt.
Brian Langley says, "Good morning, comic book friends." Good morning, Brian. Good morning, comic book friends, and welcome everyone out there in the chat in on the YouTube, which gave me a little hassle getting lined up this morning. So hopefully things are running well over there today. Everyone from Facebook, hello. I see Emily Zelasco is already awake and here. Emily, you are welcome in here anytime, as we say. Just let us know. George Valdez, Brady Goza. Brady Goza, hey, buddy, I got to open your email one of these days. I know I owe you a CD cover. So, hope everybody out there is doing well, doing fine, healthy, and all.
Yeah, healthy. Well, I try to be, but goodness gracious, I just can't get it together. Every time I think I'm healthy, here goes another ailment. I'm like, oh, I think it's a part of getting older, maybe. Or the fact that I just run on nothing but sugar and caffeine to get me through. That's probably
Well,
another. Yeah.
I'm sure that is a problem. Though I've been running on caffeine for the last 50 years or so, so it's all good. All right, that was an over exaggeration. 49 years or so. So, hey, everybody, come on in. Welcome, welcome. We have more people joining all the time. The chats are open. Please don't be afraid to hit that like button. We just want to remind everybody that our podcast today is rated TVMA DLSV in case things get out of hand, which they sometimes do.
Yeah,
Usually,
sometimes.
usually not as bad as Tuesday or Wednesday nights. So
Yeah.
you
Those are
just
the
Varian's running on slow motion this morning because of last night's geekgasm and his deciding to show everybody a movie afterwards that we all had to sit through.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
We were desperately sitting there staring at it, wondering if we could find a plot. I'm like, I know that girl's going to get topless any second. Rob Anderson says, "Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning. Good morning.
I hope you are
Listen.
cooler this morning. Though we've had a lot of reaction on your shirtless streams yesterday. So
Tons
everybody,
of reaction. Tons
everybody
of
double,
reaction.
everybody double checking their feed to see if Facebook or YouTube had yanked them down. So
Yeah, it was a little too much. A little too much boob action. Rob, you'll be expect. I say he can expect a call from standards and practices over that, but
I was just gonna say, when it comes to our broadcast, everyone is expecting boob action.
yeah,
Just the wrong kind of boob. That's all.
he's bouncing all over the place. I seen him.
Okay. Hey, everybody, come on in. We are growing all the time. More and more people watching. Everybody out there in Indie Volt Radio. We are interrupting your music at this point, and we're going to talk for a couple hours about comics and stuff. So, hope you're ready. If you're out there drawing, we want to know. Send those comments into in the subject line. Do that IndieVolt live at indievolt.com. Let us know that where you're from, what you're doing. We would love to know.
Yeah,
And Varian has a faulty translator, just in case we don't exactly read your message correctly. It can still turn into comedy gold. So send that in.
there's a chance it could turn to comedy. There's a
It's
chance
a
that
good chance.
yeah.
So, okay. You got anything lined up for us this morning?
Not a thing in the world. But
Ladies and gentlemen, we're winging it.
yeah,
We're going to be winging it. Should I wing the opening?
Let's go.
We're going to wing the opening now. Hang on. Let me see if I can get it started here.
Little crank machine.
That's it. That's it. I think I got it.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
Still alive. Still pouring that coffee.
Yeah, we gotta. Normally I have everything set up by now, don't I? Yeah, there we go. All right.
It's set. Oh, holy crap. There we are.
Hello, everybody out there. My name is Varian Grant. I'm the founder of IndieVolt Media LLC, as well as the founder and co-publisher of LastCallComics.com. Yeah, lots of interesting stuff going on in my life. I got falling in with a group of weirdos who are creating a comic company called Terraform. What else am I doing? I'm here every Wednesday, and every Wednesday apparently on Geekgasm for some strange reason.
You're here almost every day.
Yeah, I'm almost
every day. Tuesday nights at 9 p.m.
That's right.
Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. again, because we love our nines.
Mm-hmm.
On Geekgasm, which you survived last night.
Yeah.
This morning, Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. All those times are Eastern Standard Times for everybody out there in Indie Volt Radio Land. And then
Friday.
again on Friday nights at 9 p.m. You're back again.
Yep. For Art of War, which this tomorrow night promises to be a pretty packed night. We got a lot of artists, though.
We're getting bigger and bigger talented people all the time. It's
Yeah.
just amazing, some of the people that we've had on there. And I was surprised on Tuesday that we were visited by the one and only Mike Barron. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was. That was really cool to have Mike on the show.
You don't get people up there very often where you can go, hey, that's Mike Barron, dude. or somebody of that ilk, like our friend, the animator.
Yeah. And Mr. Lester, he's might be watching out there tonight. You'll have to let us know if he's in the chat.
John, right?
Yeah,
John, the animator. Yeah, I'm horrible on names, John. So I almost called you Joe.
Let's see here. Josh Dahl in the chat says good morning. Oh, good morning, Josh.
Rob says the AC had a moisture buildup and caused the system to have issues. I get that from anyway. Never mind. Seems okay now. Fingers crossed. Yep. I've ran into a buildup of moisture a few times in my life, so it usually takes a little extra effort.
He says Rob put another comment in the chat there. He says
that in deep screams. Anyway, it's weird when you make it's weird when you make
I think it's when your male
message
friends
to talk to you about your chest. Oh, okay. Oh, male friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like how women much feel you. Wow.
it's weird when your male friends message you to talk about your chest.
Obviously, Rob is not quite awake this morning.
I feel like how women must feel when men go all pervert, go all perv, do push up,
previs.
Do push up boys is all it takes. Yeah, it's all it takes.
And Trico says, from what I heard, NS had a moisture buildup after watching Rob's stream. What?
Oh. Hey, this
is
David,
way too early. This is Thursday morning, Trico.
David John Foster is in the chat. David is a director.
David.
Yeah, David. As a matter of fact, David's new movie is on IndieVolt. It's on IndieVolt TV, Agent 11. I tried to direct a movie once. Randy, did I ever tell you my directing story?
No.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna tell you my directing story, and David here might be able to I know
you've been working on a couple documentaries.
Yeah, but he can relate to this. And I'm not a director by any stretch, but I figured I'll give it a try. Being a failed director is why I make comic books. I had because I figured it was easier to draw the shit than it was to get the corral that bag of cats known as talent. But I decided to direct a movie one day. and I wrote a script, and I was working with other directors that I knew, local directors, and it was a horrible experience. I had actors not show up for parts while I was paying to be there for the day. I had, I mean, and most of them were just people that were just, they were friends. And I think that was another problem too, that I was hiring as friends sometimes, you know, they wouldn't show up. Um, that was a horrible, horrible experience. But I'm gonna do it again. I got a series that we're gonna be putting on Indie Vote TV. It's a series, so that should be pretty fun. But I've learned a lot. Believe it or not, Jeff Swarton from Vernon June Entertainment has taught me so much about filmmaking.
And Jeff's done a couple of good films and a couple
yes,
of
some of which
documentaries as
also,
well, yeah.
some which were also on Indie Vote TV. Done a ton of stuff that it taught me. I'm like, oh, and some of it's already showing it works.
Did you do you have the rights to run his? I think he did it. The documentary on the Beecher tornado.
No.
That was incredible.
Yeah,
they went through and found survivors
Mm-hmm.
to and get them on video before it was too late because it happened back in '53. So
No, I did. I believe that was the one where there was a problem. They pulled up on him on the curb and was like, "Hey, someone called the cops on them because they had boom mics and everything else." And we're like, "These guys are here doing something fishy."
obviously, a little guerrilla shooting.
Keno Subway says, "Good morning, good morning, Keno."
And when you're in the Beecher district and you use the word shooting, that usually means has a entirely different meaning. Beecher is up on the far north side of Flint, but back in '53 they had a tornado go through and cut a swath into the landscape about 6 miles wide, and it wasn't friendly and killed about 150 people. So it was quite the tragedy up here back when it happened. It was way before you and I. So
yeah. Let's see. John Celestri says he's on his walk. He's listening. Good morning, John.
Good morning,
Thank you, sir.
John. Yes.
Rob says, "Have a great show. I need caffeine. Off to go to a state or go to a farm to pick stuff up. He's gonna go pick stuff at the farm. Careful. Hopefully, it's not. Hopefully, listen. Don't steal kumquats.
Oh, to pick stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Meredith Logan says, "Good morning. Good morning, Logan.
Good to see you alive and awake this morning, Meredith. Hey, if you want to come in, you're more than welcome as well.
Yeah. Let me know.
We should plant that link in the chat if things go south. Yeah. Marv is awake. Hello.
Good
well,
morning,
no,
folks.
actually, he's probably close to having lunch.
Yeah, bring a good mood to us. Have a great day. I'll see you later. Take care. Good morning, Marv. Good morning. Good afternoon to you. He's in Portugal, so it's his time is
on the coast. Yes.
And Keno said, "Wow, you guys do shows too. You guys are a big deal." Well, we have Indie Vote TV, which is on Roku, and it's we have movies, and we put these streams up there as well. And it's fun time for all. Randy.
I can pull up that card. Yes.
Yeah, there it is. Yep. Indie Vote TV on Roku. You can check that out. But we got some comic book themed documentaries coming, and one would already be in the can, but when the beer bug came through, the beer bug.
Oh, it stopped production. Yes.
Yeah, stopped production. A lot of stuff.
As with a lot of other things. Yeah. As with everything, actually. I think we're in all the way through the end of the year. Entertainment's going to be thin. That's why it's a good time to do comics.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys, I think everyone here by now knows, Tampa Bay Comic-Con just officially announced yesterday they're canceled for the year 2020.
After Florida had suffered an incredible rise in their numbers.
Yeah.
Panic. I haven't heard anything about their hospital situation, though. I know that in Texas, Houston says that they're about to be overrun. And they're very worried over there. So apparently there's a lot of folks with a lot of bad cases over there. So.
Well, in Florida's hoping to bounce back. They were hoping to, and they had they had Tampa Bay Comic-Con. A lot of Indie Vote regulars were ready to go to that show, and we were gonna live stream from the show.
Everybody's eager to get back to a show.
Yeah, we had things lined up, and then they came down yesterday and said, "Okay, there's gonna be no show." Now, Randy and I are in Michigan, a couple hours drive from Florida, obviously.
And this weekend I was supposed to throw a show up in Saginaw.
Yeah,
but the beer bug got in the way. Yeah.
Yeah, so A lot of shows canceled. When Tampa Bay canceled, though, they've canceled and said, "Hey, by the way, no money is coming back to anybody. I guess your money's gonna be rolled over." From what I understand, they're not asking you; they're telling you
Wow. Wow.
your money will be rolled over to next year's show.
Oh, that just sounds like a cash grab.
Here the dates. Well, they also
We ain't
said
refunded. We ain't refunded. No, was it a rather terse response? We ain't refunding nobody.
no. It was actually pretty sentimental. They said, to take care of their staff between the 24-month stretch, the Tampa Bay Comic Con staff between the 24-month stretch of the 2019 show and what's going to be the 2021 show. Without your table deposits, without your boot deposits, which will go to 2021, taking care of their staff will not be possible. Um,
Anyway,
which which is scary, Randy, because look, I'm not a mathematical genius, but I start to wonder. Wait a minute. If you're going to use the money I paid for the show, and we had a guest that pointed this out last night, Andrea Molinari pointing this out, not the way I'm going to point it out, but if you're using my money for your staff for the rest of the year, how are you going to be able to afford your next year's show? So it doesn't. And Andreas said he wasn't.
I was just gonna let that hang there.
He said he wasn't. He wasn't very. He was worried about next year's show. He's worried.
I think everybody's worried about next year's show. Not just Tampa's, but everybody's show. So,
yeah.
And again, we hope everyone out there is safe, that they are being safe, and all of that.
In the chat, Kino Subway says, my mom has a Roku or however it is spelled. I might have to watch some of your stuff next time I eat dinner over there. Yeah, this pop up Indie Vote TV. We got stuff over there. We got some longer versions of the streams. Sometimes that we don't put on air. Some pretty cool stuff up there. So
we need to record more of that, because like last night was an incredibly unique experience.
Yeah. Last night
that will probably never be relived. You'll probably never see that combination of people together again, and especially if you pop up and you go, "Hey guys, let me show you something."
I'm horrible, man. If you see I'm a horrible person. I'll tell you this.
The amazing topics we can get into once we start talking to you about filing cabinets. That's what it is.
Listen, if you don't like a Beasley filing cabinet, something's wrong with you. That's your loss. Beasley.
I'm not saying I don't appreciate fine craftsmanship, buddy, but there is a point between appreciation and obsession. And sometimes you might go across that line like a roadrunner. But anyway,
it's I gotta get to the container store if you want a Beasley. Otherwise, you gotta order them from the UK, and shipping is expensive. Mm-hmm. It's like shipping can be more than a cabinet. I was gonna do it too once. I was ready to pull the trigger, and my wife was like, "I thought you said the cabinet was $75." I said, "It is on sale.
It's $150 to ship it over."
Yeah, exactly. And she was like, "And that's the 4-drawer." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a tabletop one." You're not paying $250 for a floor drawer. A little 4-drawer cabinet you gotta sit on your desk.
Okay. Do you follow my brother Kurt's timeline? He just made one.
Yeah,
that was like a 12-drawer cabinet. Yeah,
it's not a Beasley. Now, if you made a cool logo type that says Zimmerman, that'd have been cool.
It is a Zim. Yeah. Those are even rarer, and they'll probably I won't say they'll probably last longer, because I know Beasleys are high quality stuff. So hopefully you're going to get them as a sponsor on our show, right?
Hopefully one day. That'd be nice to get a nice Beasley.
Breakfast Buzz, brought to you by filing cabinets.
Are you filing your stuff right?
If you have some shit, you need a place to put your shit in.
Yeah. Oh. Also, now, Randy, I want to bring up
I
something
see a
else.
whole bank of filing cabinets back behind you with the logo proudly displayed. I could see that, buddy. I
Yeah,
could see that.
yeah, yeah. I won't overdo it at all. Just the multiple colors.
Yeah,
Because they do them in all kinds of colors.
be
That's the cool.
incredibly
Another cool
colorful.
thing about
Yeah.
Beasley is they do them in all these colors. If you're looking at those file cabinets, it's
No, you
Bisley.
say you've told us, but it comes in fluorescent orange.
Yeah,
It'll be great. Okay.
they're awesome, man. If you're from the UK, you would understand. I'm not from the UK, but Jesus, those file cabinets are
We
awesome.
still understand.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Um, Randy, I have a question from Indie Vote Radio.
Good. Hey.
So, and the situation is as follows. So
Hmm.
this person wrote in a while ago, and they
Oh, so it's a
had a
moot question.
yeah. Well, they didn't quite write what they were
It's
going
not.
through, but
It's not Fergie again, is it?
no, they do have a follow up to what's happened. So
Spaz boys.
no, it was what happened was that the person that wrote the person that they got books printed, and I'll read it. Well, I'll explain the best I can. They got books printed from a shipper, from a printer, and the
Publisher.
printer
Yeah, print.
shipped them their book. But when they opened it up, it had a different story in it, not their art, not their content.
Wow.
Yeah. They were like, "What the hell is this?"
That's a special kind of goof.
Right, right. Now, of course,
Wasn't their
unlike
cover?
hmm?
It wasn't their cover. It was a whole different product.
No, it was their cover.
It was their product. Their cover, different guts inside.
Right, right, right.
Wonderful.
Now, because indie comics, sometimes we don't put the indicia on the
Hmm.
bottom half. We don't put the, in the beginning of the thread like they used to.
Okay.
But he typed in character names until he got around Facebook and was like, hey, you know, I'm gonna find out who's the inside of this book belongs. So took some pictures of the art, sent it around to people. Nobody could, put it in groups.
In all
Yeah,
confidence, we probably need to know who that publisher is.
that printer, yeah, that printer,
That
yeah.
printer. Yeah, that printer.
So he says, well, okay, I'm gonna reach out. He finds the person who he believes the art belongs to. He reaches out. About 2 hours later, the person kind of says, yes, that's my work. Threatens to sue him because the guy doesn't understand how you have a physical copy of their book. You know, and
Now, did he have the? Did he get books also that has his cover on it with their guts in it?
he did well. That's what happened. It happened in the mail. He got that guy's book with. But well, get this. It's got his guts in it
Hmm.
until the last 4 pages. Then it's completely different stuff.
Well, knowing how saddle stitching works, that probably can't be right, unless somebody there at the plate prep really made a hardcore mistake, because the way the saddle stitching works is if the last 4 pages are somebody else's, your first 4 pages are going to be somebody else's too.
Yeah. It's all print on demand stuff. It's not a big print company.
Okay,
So
is this somebody we know?
no. These are some gentlemen out of Atlanta. Both of them are out of Atlanta.
Now you've just okay. I was going to say, now you've just nailed that publisher down, and they're never going to forgive us. 'Cause that's the kind of mistake there's a reprimand in John's file now for screwing up a couple of files and having them have to destroy some books and reprint them.
Well, no,
No,
because the
the
printer
the
says,
story gets deeper.
the story
I
gets
take it.
justified.
Oh boy,
The printer says they didn't do it. That's where the files came in. The dealio,
it's a what?
the dealio to basically deal with it. Um,
Oh well, then maybe we do need to know the publisher's name.
and then
And,
the printer goes on to say,
that,
uh,
how did that one publishing company got the files from the other publishing company's material? Damn them! What have they done?
and then they go on now to say, well, they were closed during COVID-19.
There's 3 months lost.
Yeah, they were closed. And
they're lucky if
now,
they're back up and running now.
well, he
I
went.
still have distributors I'm waiting to open. Anyway, but
And
that's
he,
okay. I have unemployment, so it's all good.
he went by the office the other day, and he noticed there was a couple different things.
Mhm.
And he said that there was a guy that says, "Hey, new management, buddy."
Oh, so the proprietors at the publishing house who used to put together all of your stuff have been sacked.
Basically, yeah. And the new management. Sorry, buddy. And I'm not honoring anything that was done by them. You feel free to place a new order.
Ah, ah, you smell that? I smell a lawsuit. I
was gonna
smell a
say
couple.
I was gonna say bullshit, but
No,
oh,
no, we skipped right past that smell, right into the lawsuit smell. That would be a personal visit. You are going to make this right because it is your fault. Because
well, he was there. Yeah, he was
I'm
physically
I'm
there.
here. This guy's all the way across the state. There was no file screw ups, and if you do not make it right, we will. We'll get a hold of our lawyer immediately.
Yeah, he didn't make a small amount of he didn't make a small order either.
This
Right?
publishing house might be under new management before it's all done.
He didn't make a small order either. He says in this thing, he said there was
Oh, man.
it was this is a Phil Kickstarter. Okay, so
Ouch.
yeah,
So
well,
it was probably a high quality book on high quality paper.
yeah,
That
yeah.
explains why the last 4 pages weren't. It was probably glue bound then.
Yeah, you're looking
So
at
the-
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we're looking at a he just said a 120 page comic.
That's what that would be. It's time. It's time for us to get this straightened out, and you will get it straightened out because I got patrons that are awaiting this product that you haven't printed correctly to get to. Holy.
Yeah, he's like, so all in all, he's out of 2,700 plus shipping costs.
Well,
they
he's
ship the
going to
book
be out
to
a
him.
little bit more because he's going to have to pay that retainer to the lawyer. And then, at least for a little while, but I would make sure that publisher compensates them,
Printer.
the printer, not
Yeah.
the publisher. Sorry, I would get those mixed up. That the printer compensates them not just for their books, their loss of time, their inconvenience. That's a major sue and
You
a big
can't
suit,
do
and it might
this
take
to
them a
me.
year to get that settled out too.
You can't do this to us. We're under new management.
Oh yes, we can. You resume. They assumed all responsibility for the previous people's stuff because they have the previous people's equipment,
Chances are,
and they have the previous people's business, which is probably under the same name because it sounds like they're too lazy to change it.
yeah. It chances are.
I would learn to run that equipment and tell them if they just walked away and gave me the printing company, maybe we could call it even.
Yeah, chances are they have the same biological makeup as the previous owners still, I believe.
Oh, especially the owner.
Yeah. It's like, hey, Uncle Steve, I'll take over, man. You just walk away,
Yeah.
and I'll take over.
They probably flushed Bob for being an idiot.
Yeah. But you're right. They could, and our reader, if you're
That would be the time that lawyers would really come in handy, and just say, look, dude, I'm not afraid to lawyer up on this. Make it right. You're in the wrong. I know that the files were screwed up. You know the files were screwed up. You have 2 unhappy customers, and in the comic business, you don't want that because 2 unhappy customers very quickly turn into 100 people that 2 unhappy customers and 98 sympathizers that will not use your services.
Yeah.
You wanna have to ship out. You'll end up being an international shipper here in no time, especially in this business, because this business is not that big, and the people that do the campaigns are not that many, and they talk amongst themselves. Thank goodness, because they have stuff like YouTube here and in StreamYard and all that to do programs on, and we're not afraid to call them out if they don't make this job right.
Yeah. I think that's
In a very factual way, not in a slanderous way, but in a very factual way, and let everybody know that for whatever reason they're just not making the situation correct.
yeah. That they are
And then we'll have the
trying to
lawyers.
duck and dodge here.
So-
We're not the same owner. Deal with it. Sorry.
That doesn't matter. Nobody's fooled. Nobody, it's a sleazy way to try to skirt business. Quite frankly, even if they didn't know it when they took on the business, that's that's what I would consider to be a startup loss on the part of the new owners.
Yeah.
And it won't take them much to just buckle in, do it right, send it out, and and have in good word alone. Yeah, but the guys made it right. To continue service, especially if they like printing funny books. They have to make this right.
I just noticed, Randy, you put our show in the future.
Did I?
Yeah, you put 8/25/20.
Oh, did I?
That's okay. We're coming to you from the future. So if nothing we're saying makes sense, is because we're 2 months ahead of you guys. You guys don't know about the Purple Sun yet? Oh crap! They don't know about the Purple Sun already.
Really? Did I really do that? Is there any way we can change that?
Yeah, I could change it. I'll change it later.
We'll change it. No, change it. No.
Can't change it now.
You're gonna fix it now. Never mind. Fix it now.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. I'm 2 months ahead of myself. Just
we'll tell you if we're coming to them from the future.
By that time, hopefully, I will have announced my crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah.
So that we can talk about that for hours.
We have to be very careful not to tell them what happens in 2 months. We have to be very careful not to tell them.
Oh no, that's not 2 months. It's the stuff that happens at the end of July. You have to be quiet about.
Yeah. I can't tell you guys about that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, have you ever watched the Man in the High Castle?
Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes now. Yeah, that you guys told me to watch it.
Oh, you haven't watched more than a season?
No.
Okay. So you kind of have to get through the first season in order to. I'm in the middle of the second season, and they're taking a couple of really crazy twists, and I'm like, this show just got really interesting. I'm very sorry to see it only goes 4, because holy crap, the stuff that they're doing is like amazing. But I was gonna say I'm the Japanese trade minister quite a lot. I keep switching Earths and finding different things going on. So, are you up to that point yet? I'm sorry.
No,
I didn't mean to,
no.
That's just a small plot point, so don't worry.
I'm probably like an episode, like middle of episode 5, I think.
Oh, it is a slow build.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're just now trying to get you acclimated to the neutral zone. What China owns, what Japan owns, what the Nazi zone. Yeah. Oh, probably shouldn't have said that word. Sorry. The second N-word zone. But yeah, that's it. I kind of wanted to see the series just from the description of the first season, but now it's just gotten incredibly more interesting. So very fascinating. Anyway, time to go back to work. Marv, unfortunately, I won't be able to see the show on Fridays. I work Saturdays now. Oh, sorry, Marv.
Yeah, it's working Saturdays.
You too.
Man.
Be safe. Glad you're working, buddy.
Who did that to you, man?
They knew how much you enjoyed our show.
Yeah. They were like, "Oh, he's watching shows."
Yeah, he's listening to podcasts. What?
Yeah. Randy, I do got one thing to talk about.
Take care, Marv.
I got one thing to talk about.
What is the word? What is the word, Pop? Don't watch films with Varian. That's the word.
Anyway. I got one thing to talk about. You guys got to check this out. I don't know if you guys have heard this. Very serious allegations.
We got some news. Don't we?
Yeah, we do have news.
News coming in. Hang on.
Okay.
I think we got it. Yeah, here it is. News.
The popcorn you're eating has been pissed in. Film at 11. No.
Is that why you like news at 11?
No. No. Actually, though, very serious allegations coming out of was it Dark Horse? A couple people have came out in support of a young lady.
This probably needs another tag here. We have way too many tags, Here we go.
Mike Mignola also coming out in defense. Says they're never working with Scott Alley again. Scott Alley has been. Scott Alley worked for Dark Horse.
My stupidity there.
And he's been accused of harassment, harassment, sexual assault, and retaliation.
I'm going to get a bell one of these days. We can just keep ringing the bell for the next person on the list.
he's been
Ding
he's been
ding. Here we are again.
he's been added to the list. Now the thing with Scott is that Scott apparently said at some point that he uh, was under he admits to having issues with alcohol.
Okay.
And he has since undergone treatment and counseling, and people in the industry have said that, well, Scott did the work. He's paid his dues. He went to treatment.
And there's no level of forgiveness in this market.
Well,
I'm never going to work with this guy again.
well, yeah, well, the young lady who's coming out against him said when she was and back in 1999 at Chicago at a Chicago Comic Convention, Scott sexually
1999.
yes,
21 years ago.
1999 was that 21 years ago? Is that how long it was? Randy, I graduated in 2000.
1999.
Yeah, I know, I'm so old.
21 years ago. Long before this guy's treatment. Long before this guy's counseling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he sexually assaulted her in the back of a minivan filled with her coworkers. Which
Why wasn't filled with the coworkers?
yeah, and
So
the fast precedent of Dark Horse.
All the co-workers I can't say that I've never. Well, I can't even say that either. I've traveled in a van of people out to dinner from a convention before, but nothing untoward happened. It's just Scott McCloud explaining to everybody the basics of the superhero genre.
Apparently, these bus rides are horrible. And what he did to her,
We were sitting on the floor of the van too, and
Yeah,
they thought we were crossed from the Detroit to the Canadian border. They thought they were smuggling people in.
yeah.
We had to
No,
all get out and explain to them that we were comic book artists, and they said, "Pfft, comic book artists, go ahead."
Yeah. She says that she was assaulted, and she is very, very, I mean, like, the allegations are
Then why
very
wasn't this
serious.
guy in jail by 2000? That's the question. She was ashamed. She didn't want to come forward. It was not the not me hashtag time or whatever.
I don't know
Hashtag
what
me too.
I mean, well, it wasn't. We didn't have that then. Here's what I'll do for you.
21 years ago.
Just about, yeah.
Even the legal statutes of limitation on most infractions like that is 7 years.
So the story is from Shauna Gore, and she said, Scott Alley sexually harassed me, sexually assaulted me, and retaliated against me, causing a negative impact on my career. All of these things happened to me over the course of 14 years. This is a pattern of chronic, escalating, unchecked abuse.
With the same woman.
Yeah, that's right. That was
They usually call that marriage.
So they usually. I was worried about that. I said, 14 years, and
That's hardcore repeated abuse.
Yeah, no one did anything. But she says, "This is a pattern." Did she this herself?
I should put that in air quotes. Abuse.
This is a pattern of chronic, escalating, unchecked abuse that was not related to his alcohol use. This was and is illegal behavior that he needs to be held accountable for.
Then why wasn't he in jail at 2014?
She says in 1999 in Chicago, Scott sexually assaulted me in the backseat of a minivan filled with our coworkers and colleagues as he drove to have a group work dinner after a long day on the convention floor. Scott was not drunk at the time of this assault, nor was he drunk on a number of other occasions where he groped and harassed me during my time at Dark Horse Comics. On this occasion, our convention crew met up in the hotel lobby shortly after the convention ended for the day to drive to dinner at a favorite Mexican restaurant. As the shortest person in the group, I offered to take the seat in the last row. Scott followed me. When I leaned forward to take my seat, Scott slid his hand into my. It's not getting into
hardcore details here.
No, he doesn't get into. It was
save that for Geekgasm.
He slid his hand to her waistband and down into her undergarments. For the next 10 to 15 minutes, she sat quietly. I sat quietly. Physically, I had to quietly, physically wrestle against Scott to prevent him from forcibly going further. She stuck her right elbow into his rib cage and braced uh, by her left arm on the seat next to her for leverage. She says he leaned in and whispered, "Shh, relax, relax, relax." She begged him to stop and pressed herself into the seat. She says, my entire body clenched like a fist. He carried on laughing and joking with the rest of the people in the car, people who included my two direct bosses, one of the VPs of the company, and a few co-workers, this entire time. She was horrified, of course, obviously. I'm speaking ahead here because I don't want to, read the whole story here.
Just sounds like a torrid mess.
Yeah, but she said, I know everyone's saying, why didn't you say something? I can't see the chat because I'm looking at her. I'm looking at the statement that she released here.
Let me jump over there. We've got Pops is going crazy here.
Yeah.
I'm calling Mike.
Yeah. And
needs looked into as well.
And she says he's kept saying shh, relax over and over again.
Some serious ancient shit. I'm not sure if that's ties in.
He's talking about this, yeah. He used it 21 years ago.
Yeah.
She says, I didn't and couldn't ask for help because I expected that other people in the van would have laughed it off if I called out, Scott has his hands in my pants. It would have been seen as a joke.
That's exactly what should have happened, though.
Yeah. She said it would have been seen as a joke, a mutual game of grab ass in the back seat.
Well, that would have warranted an elbow to the nose.
I wish he would have clawed his fucking eye out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to swear this early in the morning, but because I wish that would have been
that's assault.
Yeah,
that's an invitation for her to get, assault him right back physically.
Yeah, she said at this point, at the time of this assault, I was about 2 years into my career as a publicist at Dark Horse. Scott was one of my closest friends and a beloved co-worker, a rising star in editorial. He had recently began pressuring me to take our work-based friendship into a romantic and sexual direction. I declined and told him I wanted to maintain our friendship and focus on work. I was married. He was engaged and ready to start a family with his fiance. I told him my job was incredibly important to me and I didn't want anything to get in the way of it. He told me we should have our respective partners so we could become we should leave our respective partners so we could become a power couple in the comics industry. I was 20. A power couple.
I'm sorry.
A power.
I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing at the word.
A power couple.
A power couple in the comic industry.
Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, baby. We're gonna rule the world.
I don't think that's a thing. I don't think.
Oh my god.
I don't think a power couple.
See how red my face is? That's because I'm actually containing even more absolute hysterical laughter. Power couple in the comic industry.
She was 26 years old at the time and did not recognize his actions as manipulation and abuse. She says, I thought he was lovesick and awkward in his approach.
And he might have not even recognized his actions as being inappropriate at the time. Look at how many of these excuses that have happened was, I didn't do anything they didn't ask for. Even though it was inappropriate, even though it was not welcome. I didn't do anything. See, it has stuff like this has to be spoken up at the time. Fingers need to be pointed immediately. Action has to be taken. And nowadays, that would not fly. It wouldn't fly.
Well, here's the thing. Guy like that. Look.
Nowadays, the guy would have had his face smashed into the side of the car window.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody else in the car would have turned around and probably thrown him out.
Yeah.
Hard screech, and then you see him tumbling, out of the car as they keep driving to dinner.
Yeah, there was a little bit. There's a little bit more. I mean, later on, she
and
left.
You don't have to get into the sordid details because it's right now. It's been 21 years. You're talking details that might not even. I'm trying to put this nicely. You might be talking about details that have been overly exaggerated in the offending person's mind because it's a bad experience for them, and it just keeps getting, the more they think about it, the worse and worse and worse and worse it gets.
Now, I do want to say this.
Was it appropriate? No. Would anybody get away with it nowadays? Hopefully not. Though, a few. There has been some incidences.
Now, after Scott drunkenly assaulted a friend of hers at a industry mixer at San Diego Comic Con 2015.
Can't keep his hands to himself back then.
He entered rehab and admitted to engaging in abusive behaviors while he was drinking.
There you go.
She says not once has he addressed his other predatory behaviors.
Well,
not once has he acknowledged.
That all ties back into a lack of self-control. Yeah. The alcohol problem is a symptom of the grabby problem, which is a symptom of his lack of self-control.
She
so
says
going
not
through
once,
counseling would definitely help with that.
Not once has he acknowledged the countless horrible things he has done to me and other people he worked with.
Well, that's
as someone who suffered, he worked with other he worked with while he was perfectly sober, and every time issues of predation and abuse come to light in comics and questions are asked about whatever happened with Scott Alley, people in high positions of power in the industry, people who have worked with Scott and continue to hire him, speak up in his defense, telling others he doesn't deserve to be lumped in with the other abusers because he has changed, he had done the work, he had paid his dues.
Unfortunately, though, he also did the behavior.
Yeah,
and that does lump him in with the other people. It's how he handles that. And one of the declarations of Alcohol Anonymous, I think, and any good counseling, is the fact that you have to own up to your past behavior and tell people. It's like the Warren Ellis statement. I did stuff that was just horribly, egregiously wrong. I now know it's horribly, egregiously wrong, and I'm sorry that I did it, and I'm working to do better. Which sounded a lot more genuine. It sounds like this guy has actually gone through and done the work. Yeah. Well, it's been 21 years. Well, you can't keep canceling people over and over again for something they did 21 years ago, especially if they've made the steps to compensate. Now, granted, he should have made a public statement. He should have gotten the people together at Dark Horse and said, I was a real shit. When he got out of counseling, I was a real shit. I was a real asshole, and I deeply apologize.
It goes further. She says, and this is the last part of it.
If that wasn't done, then shame on him. Go ahead.
And this is the last part of it. She says, as someone who suffered physical humiliation at his hands more times than I can count, and whose career was impacted in numerous ways by his turbulent feelings toward me, none of which involved his drinking problem, I am speaking up now to say that Scott has not changed because he has not yet addressed the things he has done that were not related to drinking. He has done no work. He has paid no dues. And his actions over the long span of his career have deeply and gravely impacted the work of industry professionals who deserved better and deserve to be believed.
Okay. Well, now, see, that was well written, and I understand her point of view. And if the guy hasn't changed, then he hasn't changed. Cancel him, get him the hell out.
Yeah.
This industry is not so big that something like that can stay buried forever. Obviously not. It's been 21 years. So.
Yeah, 21 years ago, she feels that he hasn't, and it's like, I guess he does have,
we know a few other situations exactly like that deserve some hardcore repentance.
Yeah,
and they need to get out of the business.
The sad thing is, Randy, there might be so many people over that amount of time that you don't even remember what you did anymore to who.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, especially if you've gone on a few benders, because that chews out your mental capacity. Your brain cells. There's a lot of stuff. Hell, I'm not that. I drink alcohol, but I don't get drunk that often. And there are still parts of my life that I don't remember.
Pop says,
that I'm told about, even since I was married. You don't remember doing such and such? No, I don't.
Pop says
those were the good times, let alone the bad times.
Pop says Van and Lola power couple. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's she's got all the power though. That's the problem.
Yeah. And the bigger shoes. So.
Yeah, she's
Whap.
Pops also says the only evidence of their accusation, which you already admitted could be an exaggeration of their own mind. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. None of these people in the car said anything, right? He also says nobody said.
And again, that's the problem with these lists, because everybody has different degrees of transgressions. That you can't lump all of these people in together. You need to take it one case at a time, and how badly serious the problem is. If this guy hasn't changed his behavior, then there's a pattern out there somewhere, or at least you'd think there is, that needs to be addressed.
Then Mike says he didn't know anything, but oh my God, I never work with him again. A lot of people, and I think Oming says he's going to come out with a story too about Scott Alley. So I know that I've got some Scott Alley
Everybody probably does if they collect any Dark Horse work.
Yeah, I believe I got
See
it.
that's the thing here on this that we don't point out often enough. Bad behavior like this, repeated bad behavior like this, isn't just bad for the person, and it's absolutely horrible to the people that he has infringed upon. But it also gives a black eye to the entire company that he works for. And all of the works during that period all get looked at subconsciously. Oh, that's back when that abuser was working for that company.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's back when they were, think of all the negative shit that they were doing. It just gives the company, the entire company, a very negative vibe, and it keeps people from actually looking. It keeps people from looking at the other works from the company. They're all going to get lumped in together with the transgressions of this idiot.
Well, and people, I've talked to people about it yesterday, and someone said, "Look, Varian, I don't understand why she left the company for 2 years and then went back directly under his employ."
Yeah, that's a problem.
And someone said, someone told me this is
He was her boss.
Later on, yeah, I guess he became her boss, and he fired her.
See, there's a problem.
He fired her. Well, someone wrote to me. They said, Varian, this happened over 4.
When did he fire her? 14 years ago?
No, that was in the
That again is another lawsuit.
Well, here's the thing.
Boom.
The person I was talking to yesterday, they said, is she absolutely sure she wasn't in a 14-year relationship? Like, is she absolutely sure? Because she meant.
Unfortunately, that's exactly what the defense lawyer is going to paint.
But you know what?
If this ever goes to court.
Well, no, I mean, but don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she was in a 14-year relationship. I'm saying, he may have been in a one-sided 14 relationship with her. 14-year relationship.
He might have thought all of this behavior was acceptable too, and that he was being cute.
And it's not, he might have thought it was acceptable, and it's like, dude, you can't do what you're doing, and now you're gonna be drugged completely.
And again, we're looking at this with a 2-decade perspective of hopefully people becoming more mature and empathetic. Because back then it was all male power, especially in comics.
Yeah. Well, she just said
male power fantasies, and it was all, I am Conan, I am the big male. You were, I love the lamentations of my women. That kind of thing.
Yeah. She said that she doesn't feel he's done the work, and she doesn't. Well, she said he hasn't done the work. He hasn't paid his dues.
Well, I hate to say it, but somebody who's been infringed upon, and that's putting it way too lightly, for what she has obviously suffered. They're never going to do the work. They're never going to do enough work, because what they have done to this person mentally is totally unforgivable in their eyes. And we've seen that recently locally.
And they, another person asked me, why does this keep happening in comics? Why did comics attract all of these predators of both sexualities, both genders?
And again, you have to. Well, for one, we're in an artistic field, and for two, you have to go back, just like everything else, and look at it in a historical context and how men treated women 20 years ago. It's completely different from the way men treat women today, at least the majority of men.
Yeah.
The men that the relationships have grown and evolved to where everybody's a lot more civil and respectful. And back then they weren't. So a lot of that behavior sounds especially egregious when the person doing it might have just thought, oh, dig me, I was doing this. And the little locker room stuff, like what Trump was nailed for 4 years ago, where he was boasting how you can just walk up and grab him in the pussy,
Yeah.
That is that exact same mentality. He probably went around the office and went, I grabbed her pretty good. This was good, it was good. She liked it, and she liked it. Or because of that, he might have thought that there was a thing going on.
And now he's
got to speak up. Got to have that fortitude enough to be able to slap hands, bust heads, break noses if you have to. Just it's totally unacceptable behavior. I mean, the return resistance now you would think is totally expected.
Yeah,
and that would have made all the guys go, dude, you got what you deserved.
Yeah.
Now, keep your hands to yourself and fucking straighten up.
Yeah, I wish she would have elbowed him right in his fucking eye. I really do.
That,
But
and he should have been bent over and tossed out of the car so that you can see him roll, and those
yeah.
funny little cartwheels that they can turn.
On to some nicer, on to some nicer news, Randy.
Yes.
Check this out. I got an email from a company. They
You
are
finally
offering.
you finally got accepted into that porn company you've been trying to get in.
No. They said they said I'm too fat. Listen, I'll tell you this. There is no
There's women out there that like the dad bod.
listen, I'll tell you
The
this.
offers I've turned down over the years.
There are no you know how everyone else is getting nicer and more open in their business?
Well,
You won't find that in porn.
it all depends upon the company and the transgression.
Yeah, you won't find that in pornography. They're like,
I
nope.
got, I got a letter from Archie Comics once that totally impressed my lawyer, but that's a whole other story. Says this is the best go to fucking hell letter I have ever read in my life. I'm keeping it on file because the verbiage is wonderful. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I did get an email from a company though, and check this out. They said they are interested in helping to grow the independent comic book market. As such,
What now? Wait a minute. What kind of company is this?
they're a t-shirt company.
Oh, cool.
They're
Okay.
a t-shirt company.
Yeah.
And they are willing to offer comic artists anywhere between. Randy, get your.
You're just trying to trigger me again, aren't you?
I was
You
like,
know
get
I
your-
make T-shirts.
Get your mute button ready.
My mute
But
button. All
you
right.
might people might want to hear the guffaw.
I'll just start laughing.
They are willing to offer artists anywhere between $100 to $250 a year to purchase the rights to make T-shirts off of your character.
Wow.
I heard a giggle.
Yeah.
I heard a giggle off screen.
If you're out there, and I know a lot of people that listen to us are independent and alternative comic producers, and you have a T-shirt company come to you that offers you $100 or $250 a year to print your character, tell them, no, that doesn't sound right to me. Why don't you give me $2 a shirt?
$2 a shirt.
Give me, for every shirt that you sell of my image, you give me $2. That way you don't have to lay out any money up front. And you're paying me a royalty every month, every other month, every 3 months, every 4 months, every 6 months, however you want to agree with it on. That's coming out of your profits. That way everybody's happy because there's an upfront cost for the shirt, but those shirts are usually sold for, there's a hard markup on it anyway. That's putting it nicely.
Yeah.
They can spare a couple bucks a shirt to you. That way you're going to get paid for your efforts and not some blanket payment where they're going to go off and suddenly have, 1,500 shirts printed in Taiwan and shipped over and sold at a ridiculous rate. So
But you get none of.
huh? That you
Which
get
you
none
get-
of.
yeah.
Because it's not that difficult to hit that 250 mark. Even on an IP that's not necessarily recognizable, especially if they have ins on foreign wholesale accounts.
There. By the way, the option to renew is there.
Just ask for a percentage. There's nothing wrong. That's the great part of royalties also, because I've got a few products out there that I get royalties on, and it's always and if you listen to any of these podcasts from these long-standing professionals out there that were mainstream cogs that created characters for Marvel or DC, they will tell you nothing beats getting a surprise check in the mail for royalties. People have bought houses. I know people who have had very important surgeries done just because all of a sudden a movie come out and they got a check in the mail that had a lot of zeros on it, and they're like going, cool, and that's a royalty check solidly off of profits from the company. So you're not hurting the company. And you're getting a little bit of a just desserts. Now, Marvel and DC just have gone through within the last 20 or 30 years, or 20, probably less than that, probably 10 to 15 years, and restructured their royalty payments where some of these guys, thank goodness, can actually make livings off of getting those royalty checks.
The funny thing is, I opened the email because I thought it was from you.
The what?
I thought the email was from you.
Oh, did
because
you?
I seen ZI, and I won't out the company, but very close to your name,
Uh-huh.
Tees. And I said, what? Did he start a T-shirt? Like, did you
No,
get
I
a
wouldn't.
T-shirt like
I,
email?
I
And
wouldn't. I wouldn't offer that because I know it's so much easier to pay people royalties, and you never know how much you'll get. And
Mhm,
because you don't, like I was saying, you don't have to have a big IP on the market. You don't have
mhm,
to have a turtles on the market to have a cool looking character
yeah,
that somebody over in a foreign country suddenly takes a love to.
mhm,
Then all of a sudden you're wondering why you're getting all of these books ordered to you from some country across the pond,
right.
but you never know where that could lead. So yeah, to me, royalties has always been the way to go because you might end up with thousands and thousands of dollars,
Well,
and these
not
guys these guys don't know because every 6 months or whenever your royalty schedule is up, they cut you a quick check and send it out in the mail.
and but the other thing about the contract is this is the option to renew for the first 3 years is theirs. So that's another thing that you take that 250
Well,
if
then
you will.
you're totally giving over rights to your IP to somebody, and in my mind, that might be a little unscrupulous,
Yeah.
because it should be always be a mutual agreement within a period of time, and you should always know what that period of time is. And granted, because of the way the contract's written, that you've given over that character to them for 4 years, but you can, at their discretion. Now, next year they might just let it go. Oh, we don't know who, Power Turtle doesn't sell, so
Yeah.
we're just going to let that lapse. But again, if you have it on royalties to the person, and I would definitely not sign away rights unless they had to have exclusive rights for whatever material it was.
Mhm.
And then you'd have to chalk that off. I've got a couple of those floating out there too. But you always want to have that royalty check. You always want to know, and you always definitely want to have paper. Don't just
Yeah.
make a gentleman's agreement, because then you'll never see anything. But you always have to have it on paper. But it's always good to get those little royalty kicks. You never know when you might need gas money, and there's a check in the mail.
Uh, Message here, and we're gonna open up the chat too to being able to pop in here if anyone wants to talk about anything they can.
Pop
But
says at least $2. I know that there are T-shirt companies out there who openly solicit for ideas, that they offer $1 a shirt or $1.50 a shirt. I would even wonder about those folks too, because it's so easy to sit there and go, well, "That's a nice slogan, but that's a terrible, terrible drawing. We're going to have our in-house staff go through and do up another shirt with that slogan on it. Thank you very much for the idea."
yeah,
And you get the little pat on the head and told to go on your way.
yeah, that something similar to that happened to me. I didn't have a drawing, but I had a slogan, and it ended up on a shirt. But as a sop to my feelings, the company did
I haven't seen
actually.
anybody do a "get off your high horse and get an education" shirt yet.
No, no, no. The company
It's got
did
to be
send
coming.
me. The company sent me some money, and then they sent me they sponsored my comic book, which is nice. Here I'm gonna put this chat if anybody wants to join,
Send you
and then I'm gonna read a comment from our good buddy L Nolan.
So the next shirt, sup boys, sup ass boys.
L Nolan writes in through
L.
our don't have a graphic for it, but L says, "Hey guys, just wanted to check in, say hi." He said he actually had to go down to a law enforcement office and explain to them what a Wacom tablet was. They had no idea. The person he was dealing with had no idea what it was.
Well, yeah, because they don't know.
Yeah, but he says it looks like he may get his stuff back before Christmas, so he's very excited about
Well,
that.
let's hope so, L. We hope only the best for you,
Yeah.
even if you've picked on us in the past.
Yeah. Hopefully, he gets his stuff back. We've been joined by Pops. Pops, you got to turn your volume down a little bit, sir.
Yeah, you're echoing a bit.
I had no idea what it was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's all right.
There you
Did you post that in the chat then?
go.
Yeah, I did.
You did. You put it in the comments. Come on in, folks. Water's fine. If you want to join the chat, or you want to join the discussion, you are more than welcome to use that link.
Yeah.
What's our
How's it
radio?
going,
What's
Pops?
our radio number?
Radio number today is sitting at, it's been actually here for like the last 10 minutes, so it could be something wrong with it. Sitting at 17,100. So 17,100 people listening this Thursday morning.
I guess we curbed the sordidness a little early then. People want to listen to the juicy stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
Whenever
yeah.
my phone dings now, the wife goes, "Is that the girls calling?" So we're all like little gossipy hens sometimes.
Yeah.
That's because this business is so small. That's why a power company is so, or a power couple is so funny.
Yeah.
Or
Wow.
a print-on-demand publisher that thinks that he can screw people and not lose business because a lot of business because of it.
Yeah.
So
You guys know I got a pretty strong opinion about the initial topic this morning. Hey,
Yeah.
3 what's up, bro? Now, it's in a crowded car, nobody noticed.
No.
Nobody noticed this tussle going on over there. I'm not buying it, guys. Come on.
no, and again, it's been 20
You-
years. It's been 20 years, and there was a completely different mindset back then.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, if you knew about dude,
Yeah.
if you knew about dude, and you're going to come out today and start writing articles about him, even especially, okay, she came out. That's one thing. You're a victim. You came out. That's cool. Other people are going to come out and start writing articles about dude, about the stuff they knew about him then. Red flag, that dude's a problem too.
Oh, could you say
He
you
didn't
knew?
speak
You
up.
said, yeah, you
Yeah.
said, yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Okay, so when you come out and you say, I'm going to write an article about him too, because I knew what was going on. Okay, I'm going to backhand that guy.
That's that, and I keep trying to wanting to make a video clip of this when Claude Rains is closing Rick's Cafe down in Casablanca, telling them all to get out, and they ask him why are you closing the cafe down? He goes, I'm shocked, I tell you, to find out gambling's going on at this establishment.
No,
As the
'cause
waiter
it's
walks
trusting.
up and goes, here are your winnings, sir, and he goes, thank you.
And then you got Mike, who's worked side by side with this guy.
It's that
for
kind of
years,
irony. Yep, years.
And he's going to act like he's all
I'm shocked. I'm shocked, I tell
by
you.
this.
Yeah.
No, man, I'm just not buying it. Okay, this is all cancel culture crap. That people are really. I mean, yeah, dude might have done this stuff. I'm not saying he did.
And in any
I don't know that he did
Yeah.
because nobody ever said anything.
And in a lot of civil societies, which hopefully we're getting to, this stuff should be handled in private. Dude, you
Yeah.
need some help. Go get some fucking help.
Yes.
Get in rehab. If so and so says that it doesn't seem like that you've recovered, you need to make some sort of effort here.
I wanna
in order
bring
to
it up.
in order to give
If
that
they-
impression. Get it
And
done.
they know they don't even
Yes.
need what she said.
Yeah.
They know if he's still
They know.
doing the stuff he was doing. And
I
now
wanna
they're
bring
gonna
up the
come out
fact
and
that,
act like they're
plus
some
it's-
kind of-
If
they're
it's
like, they're
been
gonna come out and act like they're above him and they were letting him do it. No, man.
I want to bring up
It's
the fact
been
that
if
the
it's
two
been
oldest guys are
14
the most
years,
animated.
if it's been 14 years off and on, then there should be enough sense there that at the first or
maybe
second
right.
off that they just stay away from each other. There's
Yeah.
plenty of companies up on the West Coast that you can work for.
I
in one
just-
way
you
or
know, I
the
hate
other,
This whole
you know.
cancel culture thing. There's no sides in this. Everybody's gonna lose. We gotta quit. I mean, it's one thing to call out, people that are evil. No problem. I'm not against calling out evil people. I'm against canceling people that with zero evidence, with no trial, with nothing but somebody. I said, man, if it's that easy to cancel people, we're all done. We're
Well,
all done.
It's been
There's
tried
gonna
in the
be no
past.
vote. There's going to be no nothing.
We got we've got I think the thing about some of the allegations, we see them and we're like, yeah, I could see that probably did happen. The cool thing about it is it does have a lot of the people who are terrified running for the hills. The people who are terrified with good reason. But it does also have you. I tell you the scary thing is when you look back on what you've done and you're like, oh my God, like should I be concerned? I mean, well, again, I tell a story all the time. We had our booth girls would come to my old office and they'd hang out because I'd have, like Randy said, they had pizza parties at the old Arrow Comics. I had old pizza parties I had pizza parties in my old company as well.
Mhm.
Every other Friday we ordered a couple pizzas and the staff would come by and grab a couple slices, and sometimes someone brought beer or alcohol, and we'd hang out in the bullpen and drink and eat pizza. And the booth girls would stop by because those girls could eat. And I mean, you start wondering, like, I know that I kept my hands to myself, but man, is there ever going to be an issue where someone pops up and says, hey, this particular artist that you hired, didn't. I remember stopping, and I remember stopping a relationship from blossoming between the guy who was doing my website and my secretary, because he liked her. I guess she liked him, but I know that they had started. I guess he went over our house one night, and when I found out about it, I'm like, "Look, you're not coming to the office anymore, because as a matter of fact, you are pretty much fired." Because the minute you guys in a relationship, now if you break up, she wants to quit, you want to quit, not having it. Again, this is 2006, 2007. You gotta get rid of people. You gotta fire them nowadays.
Check it out, though.
You have to have a decorum of professionalism
Sure.
that's above reproach, is
But
what it is.
during the Kavanaugh hearing, didn't she get the message? It's time to come out. Everybody else did. It's like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like it was triggered by something, but now a year later, and here she comes with her story, and then it's like everybody jumped on her bandwagon with no evidence. We don't even have one person in the car saying, "Yeah, I remember that," because none of them want to admit they knew.
Yeah,
they want to get nailed too.
That car ride, listen, I'm always looking around doing car rides.
Yeah.
And I have a problem. I'm always looking, like, I got a rearview mirror and I'm using it and I'm looking at everybody. I'm very animated when I'm driving. I'm looking around, and
yeah, right.
I think I would have seen.
Yes.
Like, I would have noticed, like, hey, wait a minute, she doesn't look happy. I'd have pulled it to the side and been like, hey, look, is everything okay?
Or something, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But then again,
she was all right. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate that he was able to get away with it and no one did anything. And I hate that if she really felt like she couldn't speak up for all these years about what happened, because that really scares me, because it's like, I know young ladies in this business. Now I will say this. There are perverts out there.
One guy in that car, one person in that car come forward and say, "Yeah, I remember that. Then I'm on her bandwagon too."
Yeah.
Well, right now, all I got is he said, she said.
Yeah.
And we're canceling somebody over that.
Yeah. I think that we should probably. I mean, there'll be more that come out. I mean, there are people who are coming out now with their own stories. Well, again, link is in the chat if anybody wants to come in and talk about anything we have on the show today. Pops, I got a question for you though. Where do you fall on the line of with the printing debacle, with the people who now say that they don't owe you? They're under new management, yo. That book is your problem. What would you do? Would you go up to the printing company, knock on their door, and say, "Hey, you're gonna fix this because I don't care if you're under new management. This came off of machines you now own." New management.
Your company changed ownership, and now they don't want to print your book.
Well, they printed the book. They switched the art of two different artists. So basically, let's say me and Randy print book
up, and they don't want to fix it because it's not their company anymore.
Yeah, we're talking about hardbound books, not hardbound, but what trade bound? What's it called? Square bound, Randy? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Square bound books, which are a little, I guess, are those harder? I guess it would be harder to do than,
much harder.
But we're talking about a book like that, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be square bound with a spine.
With a spine.
And so this guy has a 107-page comic book, and and the guts are completely different.
That's not cheap.
Then it's not his stuff.
No.
So what he actually got was someone else's guts.
Yeah.
And so he contacted them like, "Hey, I got someone else's stuff." He went online, tracked down that person, asked them what they got. The next day they got their books. They got his stuff.
And consider if it was a large campaign, we're talking a large chunk of money
and
here.
his books are for a crowdfunding campaign, which
Yeah.
he needs to get out now.
Right.
Okay.
So
two need to get together and lawyer up with the same lawyer and file a suit jointly.
Yep.
they could. I think they could.
They have to, or they're never going to
It's
get
the same
in.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Like our books got switched. We need to.
It's not just the same situation. It's the same case.
Yeah.
Okay, because the evidence of both cases cross over to both cases.
Mhm.
Okay, so they need to lawyer up together.
Well, the one guy went to the printing companies. They knocked on the door. He noticed some things were a little different in the store. You know, some things are missing in the printing company. He went in. They said, "Oh, we're in new management. Yeah, we can't do anything with that. Sorry, buddy."
Yeah, I'd be lawyering up.
Yeah.
I'd be getting with the other guy and going, look, we need to take our books
Yeah.
to the courtroom.
It would have been. That's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. You're going to make it right by me, or we'll be
I'm
talking
going to
in
own
court.
these printers. I'm going to own these machines if you don't make it right with me. That's because I go all out. I don't care.
He's got a 25. He's got. He said it was, I think, 2,500. I got the email closed up. $2,500 plus shipping. This is all gone. You owe that man some books, and he's got to get it funded. He's got to get those books out to customers.
Yeah. You're crushing
Well,
his business by not making it right what you messed up.
Yeah.
The two of those two of those guys together would take it out of small claims real quick.
Yeah. John says, didn't the creative publisher get a proof print or digital before going to press? A lot of people don't, John. I've seen
Not anymore, John. Yeah.
And because of all
Plus,
this,
they could have sent him a digital proof and had been different from what was printed.
and the digital could be exactly the same. We're talking about different covers, basically. You got all these variants. Stuff like that can happen, but you still got to make it right.
Brian Langley says he's back.
Hello, back.
Yeah.
Back is here.
Chat link is in the there if anybody wants to
Make sure you hit
take a
that
look.
like button, folks. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. We desperately want to become monetized so YouTube can tell us what we can and cannot say.
I will say this: if that happened to me, I would be up there knocking on their door. I would be camping out outside. They'd see me every morning until they made it right. Or again, that's when you go to court and say, okay, I got to file a case and you let your backers know. And
it's also another instance of why you don't want to deal with a printer that's out of state or out of the country.
Yeah,
because you're going to have these kind of problems
every day or whatever. You have a crowdfunding project that you need to fulfill.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have time to mess with these people day after day. These two people need to lawyer up today and get something done.
But the one has to let his backers know. He has to immediately look, guys, here's what happened. I like the fact that Mike Oden is actually, he's got pictures of his books coming off the press. He's got pictures of his books being boxed. His books, that's a big
again easier to do when you have a local publisher or printer.
Yeah, he's got pictures like that, and he's putting those pictures up on his platform, and he's like, hey, here's my books. They're being fulfilled, which means you're gonna get your book soon. That book's being printed. They're on the way. You're gonna get your book soon. Nothing to worry about, which is really good to see. Or especially if you're putting out a book for the first time. Randy, you've gone through a lot of printing companies, and I know that if you
Pops is laughing.
if you had that
I
happen,
bet he has.
But you said your printer was it printing used to not struggle to make this, but they very rarely had a mistake. But when they did, you didn't even see the mistake. They knew it.
Yep. They knew it. They removed it before it even went off. But it was a small shop with a large web press with a great sense of quality control. I mean, they had already printed at the point that I had started taking them stuff. They had already printed probably at least 170 to 200 issues of Cerebus with Dave Sim, and Dave Sim is very very particular about the printing, which has made the publisher very particular, which because of that performance made me want to bring my stuff to Printy. And I would hand deliver files. I'd drive an hour over to Windsor every probably twice a month, and dropped off camera boxes filled with original art that they would take stats from. That's how long ago this was. When he first, even back then, when Printy opened the first camera box and saw the original artwork, he said, "Oh, we're doing this the old-fashioned way."
John says,
"That's how it was done."
The printer I used for my crowdfunding campaign gave me a digital proof that we agreed to.
Yeah,
it was perfect bound, oversized 88-page color book. Yeah, but John, I was going to say I've had situations, especially recently, where the company that I have my stuff printed through. Excuse me, not a comic. This is another property.
Mhm.
Actively tells you, hey, look, we could do a digital proof, but it's gonna slow down your printing. It's gonna slow down your printing.
That's
And
very true. But and again, sorry to cut in on you, but that if you're a publisher out there, especially if you're going in for your first couple times, and this is the first time you put together a printing package, don't go cheap. Take the extra time. Get the
Sure.
get the proof or any blue line proof or any proofs. When I was dealing with Associated out of South Dakota, they would always send me a blue line proof, but they'd send it next day, and it was $10 at the time that I was incredibly happy to pay for to make sure that the job looked right.
Yeah, that and they'll now what they'll do instead of sending you that proof, they'll say, well, you want to buy a sample book from us? We can show you what we can do. And I've seen companies.
Well, that's when you got the print on demand guys who just stick it into they just take your file and stick it into their file and just run it off of the glorified Xerox machines, what I call it.
I had a company tell me, okay, we can print, we can send you digital proof that's gonna slow down your print for about 4 days. If you want a physical proof,
it'll be a week.
I was told due to and especially nowadays they can throw COVID around as any excuse. Oh, you're looking at a month delay before we can even get around to it. Then
any printer like that, in my mind, that's unacceptable.
Yeah. So I mean, they're actively trying to get you to stay away from an idea of even getting a proof.
Well,
However,
no, that they might want to discourage you because of time. Because once they have this in the machine, it's good to go. Now the print on demand guys, it's just a file.
Yeah.
So you can go, you know what? I'm going to take the extra day or so. Email me the print file and they'll send it to you as a PDF to make sure that everything was lined up right. I still do that now with the preservers covers because the guy that I get it printed through has got an incredibly large web press that handles newsprint, but the covers are printed by an outside source.
Yeah.
So he doesn't trust himself as the liaison to get the cover printed. He sends me a digital proof to approve to make sure that it's lined up right, that when it's printed and trimmed, that everything's going to be copacetic.
Yeah, right. And like I had a situation recently where the proof saved me, and the company didn't even notice there was a flaw that I pointed out, and they were like, "Oh, crap, we didn't see that. Thank you."
Yep.
We're going to get on that and find out what's going on.
Yeah, because nobody's perfect, especially a printer. They're not. They're definitely not perfect. But you want to go with somebody who, of course, instills you with the most confidence, but somebody who also knows as much as possible what they're doing. So.
Keno Subway says, I would join you guys, even though I'm not a creator or nothing, but I just got a love seat delivered, so cleaning and working in the house.
Keno Subway will take any excuse you want to throw at us. That's okay.
You just don't want to come in here. That's all it is.
That's right. That's right. You just don't want to come in.
Brian Link says, I got a question. Do you believe in paying half of a commission to an artist to hold a spot? Seems like a lot of trust for a customer, and Harley knows the artist.
Now, by that, do you mean the artist is saying, damn, I'm so busy, but if you paid me some money, I could definitely put you on the schedule? That seems a little sleazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. That does sound kind of sleazy.
I know guys who work professionally in this business that have a small calendar, and this used to be fun back when I was printing somebody's work. I'm not going to embarrass him by telling him, but he's a main. He's a pretty big name. I could call him up when it was time for him to get his stuff in to remind him that stuff's going on and give him a date 3 or 4 months from now. What are you going to be doing on the 15th of July? He goes, give me a second. Flip. Yeah, I'm going to be in the middle of doing this. Because he was that coordinated with his jobs and he had that much of a upfront schedule, but he was never asking for placeholder payments. Never.
Well, let me say this. Sometimes what you see when artists do that, Brian, what you're seeing is an artist who could use the upfront money. He's got bills.
I can pay my car payment.
But he's too embarrassed to admit it. Yeah. Sometimes they're too embarrassed to admit it. Because I don't know why. Look, guys, money's tight right now. Car notes due. Rent's going to be due. Could use some extra money. I'm asking. I'm open to commissions. I'm asking for a little money up front for the stuff. This will help get me through. I know that sometimes what happens when that happens, when when those things occur.
That would be the time, Brian. I would go. I can't really do that, but if you want to draw the cover in advance, I would be very happy to send you that money as soon as it was done. Because
Seems like Pop's got.
or a page or two of continuity. I can send you the money for those pages.
Yeah.
You know, it's always safest to pay as you go.
Seems like Pop has strong feelings. He sighed.
Is he holding it? Is he holding back and being polite?
It's like I got a friend that paid for a commission, and he's still waiting. And I'm not saying no names.
Yeah.
About either person because they're both friends of mine. But one of you, as soon as you get that thing done that you say you're working on, handle your business.
Yeah.
The other one, don't pay people up front, man. And I'm not saying that's, I mean, if you know them, that's one thing, but it's like, hey, if you're paying somebody up front, know that they got you as their number one concern.
Yeah. I've seen it at convention, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but Brian will probably, I've seen people at conventions, artists have like, and these are some artists that sometimes don't have names. I'm talking about like me, having a sign that says, "Hey, pay for your commission now. I'll take it home and I'll send it to you."
See, I absolutely hate doing that because that puts a great big boulder over your head in order to get that done and make that money fulfilled. I always tell them, the two things I always say is don't pay me until it's done, and then make sure you tell me when you want it done, because I will either waste my time or be working on other things right up until I have enough time to hit your deadline, and then it'll be done. And
see, that was what I was saying. It's like it's cool to have deadlines on other projects, but if somebody's paid you, make a deadline on that project.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay?
But I hate taking money in advance because
and then wait until somebody says something, because I don't want to be in the middle of none of that, man. I got people that come to my cons and they sell their stuff, and that's cool. Handle your business, because making me look bad. You're on my con, and then my friends are buying your stuff or paying for your stuff and not getting it or whatever. It's like then that lends to my credibility. I don't want to be in the middle of that.
Paying for it in advance just gives you, the artist, an excuse to spend the money now and start looking for more money. You know what I'm saying?
And like I say, they're both friends of mine, and I don't even. That's why I don't want to even be in the middle of it. But I kind of have to be. It was my show.
Yeah.
It was, so we kind of like, I feel obligated to make sure that both of them handle their bit, or one gets what he's supposed to get, and the other handles the business.
Yeah. Brian says, even if he runs with the money, I'm a church believer, would feel like a good deed at that point after everything's said. Sometimes
that's your personal preference, Brian.
sometimes these artists need the money, they don't want to admit it, and they have an issue with they don't. So they'll say, "Hey, I'm taking commissions and I need 50% up front." Now, I will say this: if an artist tells you they need 50% up front, make sure they got a track record of delivering. If they do, then you shouldn't have a problem. Otherwise, maybe be a little worried. Just a little. I deal with some of the same artists over and over.
Pay as you go. It's always safest to pay as you go. Sorry.
I deal with some of the same artists over and over, and I've never been disappointed because I know what to expect from them. I do this weird thing where I pay one of my colorists ahead of time, where I actually got a credit built up with them. So what I do is I waltz in like I'm the boss. Like I waltz in like king shit, and I'm like, "Hey, I need this color," and he's like, "I got a project." And I'm like, "A project? That's cute. I paid you already. Your project is moot. Push your project back. Get my shit done." Meow. And he hates to see me coming, but he don't toss out that that monthly PayPal stipend that I send either. So I'm upfront, damn it.
Can I jump on a different subject real quick, just for a second?
What's up?
Last Monday, my son tested positive for COVID.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it's like we don't have nobody in the family feels nothing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 10 days. We're all fine.
Okay.
So I mean,
Is that the subject you wanted to jump over to?
Yeah.
I thought there was more to the story here, but that's okay.
I just want everybody to know that we're fine because
Yeah.
everybody knows that that was in our household.
Yeah.
And it's been the 10 days have gone up.
Yeah.
You know, he went back to work today. We're all good. That's
Well, I'm glad he's all good. I mean, when normally says someone,
we're all good. The
Yeah.
whole family, we're all
Yeah.
good.
yeah, when you say COVID, everybody's like, oh no.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I went,
Beer.
hey, no,
Beer.
it's all good. We're good.
Beer bug. What? Beer
Yeah.
bug.
I'm glad that everyone's okay. That's amazing. And he's back to work already.
Yeah.
We're-
I mean, he had a temperature and they made it, you know, he went to work. He was going to go to work last Monday and he had a temperature and he's like, I can't say it. I get in trouble when
That's why I wrote it down.
Thank you.
I don't want to say it, but that's
Every time I say it, it's like, but he said that ever since they stuck that thing in his nose and they didn't go way back
Yeah.
Oh no, they go way back.
he said they barely put it up in here.
Yeah.
His nose has tingled ever since.
Well, yeah. You know why? That's because they go in there and they scrape a section of the of the inner nose lining. It takes a little while to heal.
He's like,
That's
man,
like a big scratch up in there. You just go.
he said his boogers feel heavy.
Yeah. Yep.
What does that mean? I was like,
Ralph Griffith, who hopefully is with us today. I don't think so. He hasn't said anything at least. He went. He was having trouble, and he went in to the hospital with symptoms, and they told him he had it, and they gave him 3 nose tests, and all 3 of those tests come up negative, but they told him he had it. So
Yeah.
the last couple of days that he was there while he was recouping, they put him in the wing.
now he's got it.
So 2 weeks later, boom, he's back in there again. Yeah, with symptoms.
We got a visitor.
Amazing how that works. Hey, visitor.
Hey, this is one of the youngest comic character creators in the industry.
How old
He's
is he?
a character that will be coming out in Mojo Rising Book 2. I just want you to know that. This is Isaac.
How old is he?
He is 6. He's about to be 7.
Awesome.
But he's a big fan. He's a big fan of all you guys, of the whole industry.
Cool.
He loves the comics. He loves the art. He draws. He creates characters, and he's going to be an up-and-comer in the industry. Huh?
I worked with Perry and Lane Toth back when they were 6 and 8, so I know how that goes.
He's going to draw what? He's going to draw the Green Goblin today.
Awesome.
Hey,
That's
you have to
great.
post that, Pop, so we
Yep.
can check it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I always do. There's a topic post in the group that has Munchkin art.
Yeah.
There's a bunch, anytime anybody posts anything their kids do, I pop it in that little topic so that people can find all the Munchkin art real easy. He's got stuff in there.
Cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, Green Goblin, one of my favorite villains. One of my favorite villains.
Where are you at, Pops?
We are in little teeny town in southwest Michigan, down near Three Rivers. You know where it's at.
Are you? Cool.
South,
Okay. Yeah.
south of Kalamazoo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But we're out in the boonies. We're not like in town. We're out in the middle of nowhere. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, and here comes another
There's
one.
another
There's
one.
another one.
Oh my God!
Multiplying.
Can I fix this? What is it?
Fix it. Fix it
Oh,
now.
Time to be grandpa, y'all.
All right, Pops.
All right, Pop, we'll see you, sir. You have a good day.
Buddy, thanks for being part of the program. We'll see you.
You bet.
All right. Take care.
I mean,
Happy grandfathering.
Bye, bye, kids. we once had a
What a great way to go out.
smothered by
I
grandkids.
gotta go do the grandfather thing now.
Oh man,
Anyway,
that's gonna happen to me at some point. I'm gonna be I know my kids are gonna go out here and make children, and they're gonna come and say, "Hey, Grandpa." I'm like, "Don't what'd you call me? What'd you? It's not my name. Don't
it's
call
probably
me
going to
that."
be folled by a boy, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Even if it's a boy or a girl. What'd you call me, boy?
Yeah.
That old grandpa tell you about the stories back when I learned who Wally Wood was.
Yeah. It was an older guy.
We got somebody else in the chat right now who wants to talk to us about the state of the world.
Is that right?
I think so. If his internet's all right,
All right, let's find out.
shall we try to bring him in,
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's see who can bring it.
buddy? Hey, are you there?
Terrible things are going on in the world right now.
We're glad.
Absolutely terrible.
Oh, we're glad you could join us, buddy. Well, why are you here?
Let me see here. I'll only check in on you guys and just make sure you're okay.
We think we're fine. How are you doing? Oh, damn it! Lost him again. He's got the flimsiest internet.
The flimsiest, the worst. The worst.
That's terrible.
Yeah, Jason says, guys, the title on YouTube says 8/25/20. Didn't know it was August already. We're coming from in the future.
Welcome to August, my friend.
Yeah. Here's the problem, guys. What you don't know is in July.
You went to sleep. It's your fault. You woke up. Now it's the middle of August. Done.
Actually, we might not be here for August. I got sent an article.
You're finally getting that eviction notice you've been dreading?
No, I got an independent from the Independent.
You're going to be canceled. Something in
Iceland.
your past?
Iceland got hit by thousands of earthquake tremors, and scientists warned volcano may erupt. There's a volcano in
Check
Iceland.
the date on that. Check the date on that. It's probably 2 or 3 days old. Check it.
It's at 1 day, but I'll check it out.
One
Yeah.
day? Yeah.
Yeah.
They got hit a couple days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a couple of very large volcanoes up there that can make things very cold for us
Yeah.
because they spew a lot of ash up in the air and they block the sunlight. So, yeah, Jason, I typed things up this morning. You can't expect us to be totally awake for the breakfast buzz, especially after what we had to go through the night before. So, it'll be changed. It's only 6:25. Well, actually, it's 10:37, but that's a whole nother story. What's our radio number right now? Hey, folks, anybody listening from Iceland up there?
It's right now. Radio number is sitting at a nice balmy. No, it's not balmy.
Balmy?
A radio number is sitting at 20. Oh, I'm sorry.
We're gaining.
Radio number was sitting at 22 100. So yeah,
22-100.
yeah.
Thanks,
22
everybody,
rounded
for
that way.
listening.
Yeah. Rounded up by like 4.
Oh, what happened? Earthquakes and volcanoes in Iceland, Jason.
Yeah.
Next week is the start of July, and that means aliens. Just so you know. Be prepared.
That means aliens, and
They've already said there's 36 intelligent species out there, and how did they decide that? They just pulled it out of their ass. 36 intelligent species out there, of course.
yeah, 36 of them.
Just in our galaxy. So, and there's lots of galaxies out there.
Unfortunately, we weren't one of the species they found that was intelligent. We weren't one of them.
We are the ant farm of the Milky Way. I don't know if you realize that or not, but they drive by all the time and point and laugh. You're doing what? You're making them stay home for what? You convince them that oil or petroleum's a fossil fuel? That's hilarious, dude. They've been talking. Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, way back when, was said to have had meetings. So,
I had
depending upon which conspiracy theory you want to listen to. And most of those conspiracy theories turn out to be true, though. That's the problem.
I've had 2 friends recently unfriend each other over the moon landing situation.
Bob says the answer is 42. One of them says it didn't happen.
One of them says it didn't happen. One of them says it did, and they unfriended each other.
There's no question that it actually happened. It's just that the other buddy who says that it didn't happen probably wants to push the flat Earth theory. So they didn't get over to the other side of the world to see if it was a plate or not or something. I don't know. But it actually happened. The problem is that after a couple of times of being up there, the ratings were so low and the sightings were so difficult to hide because they had to fudge the footage looking as bad as it did, which is why all these conspiracy theories are now, well, it didn't really happen. They did it on purpose because they shot it off of a set. It's like, no, they were actually up there. But how they set up the camera before they got out of the limb is it's still a question I haven't quite figured out yet. But anyway, they were up there. The problem is that they had to keep losing signal because they had so many people, not really people, so many different vehicles sitting on the edges of craters waving, trying to get photobomb the camera, that they had to keep cutting things out. Well, we lost the feed.
Yeah. Is that
There's
is that?
there's a gray waving. I see it. Somebody up there on the lip. They had secret code words for all that kind of stuff, though. Here's a weird structure we saw on our drive by. That was actually part of the car they were driving, right?
It's like,
Absolutely, that looked like a tire to me.
it's, we're going to the robot stronghold.
Yeah. Hey, we got a weird guy here who wants a. Dude, where's your suit? Look at that guy's eyes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we
just crazy times when you really get into it. It's just it's funny that they're so afraid that we're going to lose our minds if all of a sudden they said, yeah, well, we've been talking to this little gray dude for the last 20 years. We don't know where you've been. Where do you think your Intel processor comes from?
Yeah.
We didn't pull that figure out of our butts. Anyway, we
Hey,
just
little
found a
Gray-
few guys in the garage, men in black, come in, knocking, going, we got some stuff we need you to backwards engineer.
Yeah. Little gray dude, could you tell us how to maybe live forever? We'd like to know that. That'd be great.
By the way, look into the light.
Oh man, Randy, I will take this. It's
We
gonna
must be towards the end of our broadcast. Is that what you were saying?
It is getting closer to the end of our broadcast, but I'm looking forward to a lot of people since Tampa Bay is canceled. A lot of people planning virtual con, so this should be a very interesting weekend.
Rest assured that we will all be together again soon,
Yeah,
and that we will all share drinks and clink glasses in person, just not right now until the word gets out or until they decide the bug has died down. Or anyway, I think we're in for a very interesting rest of the year, though, as more people find more things to be frustrated and mad over, or as more information about the frivolousness of some of the things that have been happening comes to light. We're going to be in for an interesting rest of the year. This is one of those years like 1968. Nobody probably remembers that year. I barely do, but there was a lot of stuff happening every freaking day. If people weren't dying from campus protests, people were gathering in New York for a incredibly large love fest or protesting the maltreatment, just like they're doing today. At that point, we didn't have a pandemic going on around or a bug keeping people even more frustrated, or no TV, no new TV, no new, thank goodness for the streaming services and the fact that there's already a ton of content available for watching, because we were talking earlier, I'm going back and watching stuff that was out a couple years ago. So, and we're all going to end up doing that for the next couple of months until Hollywood catches up on new material. But there's still new funny books coming out. There's still some really great crowdfunding out there. So
yeah.
there are ways of being entertained a lot more than, grabbing a protest sign or a brick and going out and misusing it. Plus, there's always plenty of ways of being constructive, and that's what we need to do.
Yeah, I would say throw shade, not bricks.
Hashtag pencils up. If you're hating, you ain't creating. That's the slogan.
And remember, at your enemies, throw shade, not bricks. Don't I go out there and start rioting? We're fine. We're fine. Until the aliens show up, then you might not be fine.
Try to build, not destroy. That's the thing.
Aliens show up, all bets are off. Rival says, I just got an email asking if I'd like to work from home for the rest of the year.
Who's that?
Rival Steve. Yeah.
Rival Steve. Where do you work, Rival Steve?
We might not want to say.
You work for DC? Because you probably can't, or you probably don't, because DC got that word about a month and a half ago. Yeah, just stay home. If you have an office to come back to in January, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
So there was an interesting Comics Matter video about one of the writers for DC being very upset that she wasn't included in on the summit meeting for her block of characters, and that was kind of the hint that she might not have a job because she
was it a virtual summit meeting?
Next year's plans. What?
Was it a virtual summit meeting?
Oh no, this happened a couple years ago.
Oh.
Pretty sure she's not working today, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, you're out. you're out. You're gonna get no job here at DC Comics. We put out the good.
All
well,
of these
especially
corporate, all I'm sorry to step on you again. All of these corporate companies are coming back incredibly leaner because they're realizing how many people were redundant.
Rival Steve says, I work at a Fortune 500 company, but that's all I can say without violating my contract.
Don't go any farther, Steve.
Yeah.
But just know that a lot of these companies are coming back only if they have to, and they're dragging their employees back up only when they absolutely have got to have them in the office. But other than that, they can stay home and do whatever, collect whatever, you know. If it wasn't for the big stimulus package that they're hopefully going to be renewing, that they're talking about renewing, there would be twice as much rioting, 5 times as much stress out there, and there's still folks out there that have filed for unemployment that still haven't gotten it. And hope those people can hang in there until they get some sort of help.
Yeah. Keno Subway says, my pencil went up when I seen you all were live. That's Randy. He's quite the looker. Pop says, yes, a lot of useless employees.
Yeah.
And less chance for those car parties. Yeah, they were having car parties. I get it. That's Pops, come now.
I'm sleeping, damn it. They're driving down the street honking. I wake up thinking the world's over and somebody's having a damn birthday. Anyway, I'm speaking from personal experience. I had to keep yelling at these kids to get the heck off my lawn. Anyway, not really, but I've seen a few car parties in the neighborhood. So.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Randy and I will be back Tuesday at 9 p.m. Then I'll be back tomorrow night, Art of War, here on this very channel. Bring some talented artists in here. Gonna get those guys a draw. It's gonna be awesome.
You never know what could happen over the weekend. So if something big happens in the world of comics, or something important enough in the alternative or independent market, we might pop on for a couple hours over the weekend just to talk about it.
That's right. We'll pop in and give everybody the news. Only we can do. The
from a perspective only we have.
Full of
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Anyway.
But our opinion is full of conspiracy, full of bewilderment.
How dare you?
And full of other things too that we can't mention. In
lots of experience. Yeah.
Have you paid your dues, Jack? Yes, sir. The check is in the mail.
That's what Scott Alley said, but apparently it was not to be. Yeah. He has not paid his dues, so he's going to be paying that dues in dividends for the rest of his life.
We hope everybody stays safe out there. You need to talk about where we can reach you, Varian.
Yeah, well, you guys can reach me at KYD_V on Twitter, Varian Ground on Facebook, and of course, you can reach out to Last Call Comics, which is my publishing company. If you want to pick up some books, we really appreciate it. You can go to the store, the brewery there. We are currently shipping books. Indie Vote Radio, though, is where you can find us right now. Indie Vote Radio is on Google Play. And if you have iOS, you can download the Streamer app, type in Indie Vote Radio there, and you'll pull us right up. Indie Vote Radio is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of the best music ever. Independent music, and then you get content from us on there as well.
A wide variety of music that you can thank the Indie Princess for programming.
That's right. Yeah. You can thank her. She's programmed all that music in there.
She's doing an awesome job.
Yeah. She's killing it, man. And so we got some shows on there. Got some television, not television shows. We got some shows on there, talk shows, some plays. I won't call them plays, but some radio shows on there. Very if you haven't
Theaters of the Mind.
Yeah. If you
radio dramas.
Yeah, we got some of those on there. Very interesting stuff. Check it out. It is free. It's a free app, so check that out. Also, speaking of free apps, the Indie Vote TV for Roku. You can download that. We got a bunch of content up there. Some stuff here from Indie Vote. We got a bunch of the Art of War episodes up there. We've got movies up there, independent movies.
Cotton Candy for the Mind.
That's right. Cyber Tech is up there, and movie made all by one creator. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Oh,
It's a very memorable creator, though.
Yeah, Sean. Shawname. He made that. He did it all by himself. All the voice work he did by himself and everything. To CG. And he made comics too off of it. So it's a pretty good. I think it's like 40 minutes film. And he's working on episode 2 now.
Always wanted to get into voice acting.
Yeah. He's gonna let me do a voice in the second episode. Which
I've done a couple of radio dramas. I should talk to Tom and see if you can put those on Indie Volt Radio sometime. They're old classic TV dramas that we reenacted here locally. Some of them are pretty good, and some of them are very cringeworthy.
But Indie Volt TV is free on Roku, so get it while you can. Bunch of free movies up there. We just added Agent 11 up there as well. Indie Volt TV again is free on Roku, so check it out. Now, if you want to get in touch with us, that's pretty easy. Indie Volt Live at indievolt.com is how you do that. Include Indie Volt Live in the subject field, and please keep those emails to 90 words or less.
No question too big, no question too small, no question too silly, especially if you have a serious problem in regards to comics or any genre media. We've even taken and done advice from the Lovelorn. And remember, our feedback will be better because of your setback.
Right.
So hashtag get an education, hashtag Indie Volt. So please send those letters in, send that email in. We would love to hear from you, especially if you are a radio listener, especially if you're not here in the States, because we want to know what you're doing, not in a invasive sort of way, but in a curious sort of way. We want to know what you're enjoying too, what comics you're reading, especially from your home country, because we'd like to give that a little bit of exposure and let other people know that there's a lot of great stuff out there all over the world.
Yeah.
And normally we go through an entire run of crowdfunding campaigns, and I'm very sorry that we haven't. If you haven't looked at IVA, if you haven't looked at Florida Man, especially that we just had on Tuesday, definitely take a look at those. I'm sure we'll run through those again on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We could almost make an entire shill stream on a regular basis, where we all we do is go through all of the campaigns from some of the great guests that we've had on here at Indie Volt Live over the years.
If Iva's still out there, Florida Man, Teddy Bear Tales just launched.
Grim Reaper 2, who we haven't heard from in a long time. I think just fulfilled their campaign or just got it back from the printer. It's not they made some movement I saw the other day.
Yep. Stephanie Menard has a new
more stuff coming.
A new campaign up. So yeah, we'll bring those. We'll look at some of those campaigns Tuesday. And until then, guys,
we've even got a few of our own that we want to do. So
yeah,
and I'm Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Facebook, on the Twitter. I don't tweet very often. I'm more on Facebook, and you can or you can find me here. I also do the Zim Geek channel on YouTube. That's ZIMMGEEK. I like and appreciate that. I am almost positive there's going to be new material up by next week. So,
Subway says check out Mike Murphy's Deep Well, Caliber of Death, a Western comic, and we'll check that out too.
Elysian Fields by the great Michael Oden.
And he's Carlin Johns and Grim Reaper is looking great as well. It is. Yep. Thank you everybody for joining us. We will see you soon. Randy and I are gonna go try to have the best Thursday possibly can.
Don't be fooled. Variant's going back to bed.
Yeah.
He was up late last night making up for Geekgasm. So.
Yeah. Until then, guys, you guys stay safe. We'll see you back here.
I'm gonna take us out, and everybody stay safe, stay warm, or stay cool, depending upon where you're at in the world. We wish Rob well on his air conditioning, and we'd like to say good day and love and light to Heather Antos.
Wherever she may be.
Wherever she may be. Here we go. Take care, everybody.
You're not a dish. You're a man.